Construction still feels slow and frustrating even in 2025. But some of the smartest projects today don't use high-tech machinery at all. People are moving buildings by hand, printing roads, and building homes with air. In this video, you'll discover jaw-dropping ideas that could make construction faster, cheaper, and surprisingly eco-friendly. Nearby, another crew is doing something even more surreal. They're moving a garage. No crane, no flatbed truck, just 92 people, lifting it off the ground and walking it down the street, step by step. It sounds like folklore, but it's real. You'd think the walls would crack, the roof would buckle, but no, everything stays intact. It's the power of shared focus. It's the kind of moment that makes you question how much of modern construction is just over-engineering. Now switch scenes. A massive white dome inflates like a giant balloon. At first glance, you'd think it's for a sports event or a kid's party. But as it holds its shape, workers head inside and start lining it with reinforced concrete. This is inflatable architecture. Strong, weatherproof, and ready in hours, not weeks. And yes, it's real. NASA has tested similar tech for habitats on Mars. But right here on Earth, it's being used for homes, schools, and shelters in disaster zones. Air becomes structure, fast becomes strong. And let's talk about roads. Ever been stuck in traffic because of a tiny patch of roadwork? Switzerland found a way around that. Their solution? A mobile bridge called the ASTRA bridge. It's like watching a giant table roll across the highway. Traffic drives over the top while construction happens below. No more shutdowns, no more delays. The bridge even moves from site to site like a piece of modular furniture. Why hasn't the rest of the world adopted it? Probably because it's so smart, it feels unreal. But smart doesn't always mean sleek and robotic. Sometimes it looks like a metal insect crawling across a mountain. Meet the walking excavator. With legs instead of wheels, it climbs where no regular machine could go, up steep hillsides, across riverbeds, even over rocks. Each leg adjusts independently, like an animal's. This isn't just a cool invention. It's critical for places struck by landslides or in need of remote infrastructure. Machines that mimic nature often outperform the ones that fight it. Speaking of mimicry, let's talk about one of the internet's favorite machines, the road printer. It lays bricks faster than you can count. 2 workers feed it bricks, and it lays them down like a massive inkjet printer laying out text. Perfectly spaced. No bending down, no guesswork. What used to take days of backbreaking labor now takes hours. It's automation that works hand in hand with human speed. And watching it in action is oddly hypnotic. There's something deeply satisfying about seeing an entire walkway appear in perfect symmetry as the machine glides forward. It doesn't just save time, it saves joints, backs, and energy. In regions where skilled labor is scarce or road crews are small, this tool can be a game changer. Imagine how quickly urban sidewalks, pedestrian paths, or even garden walkways could be built with one of these. It combines the rhythm of machinery with the finesse of craftsmanship, proving that innovation doesn't always have to be futuristic. Sometimes it just has to be smarter. But every building starts with materials, and concrete, though reliable, is a resource hog. So in Zurich, engineers developed ultra-thin slabs inspired by natural shapes. Shells, wings, domes. These aren't just pretty, they're strong and use up to 70% less material. Less cement means fewer emissions, lighter structures, lower costs. In Malaysia, builders take this further by embedding hollow plastic spheres into slabs. The weight drops. The strength remains. Sustainability and strength finally share a room. In drought-prone California, engineers dumped millions of black plastic balls into a reservoir. Weird, right? But genius. These shade balls reduce evaporation by blocking sunlight, keeping algae from growing and helping preserve millions of gallons of water. One of the cheapest and most effective water-saving measures out there. It looks absurd until you learn it works. Elsewhere, a new kind of compassion is being mechanized. Poultry farms are replacing manual bird collection with a machine that can gently scoop up 6,000 hens an hour. Why does this matter? Because it's faster, safer, and more humane for both birds and workers. It's not flashy, it's not revolutionary, but it changes lives on the ground. That's what real engineering should do. Let's go back to brute force, but refined. Imagine 2 bulldozers with a heavy chain stretched between them, moving in sync. As they drive forward, everything in the chain's path, bushes, undergrowth, small trees, is uprooted. It's aggressive, sure, but in wildfire-prone areas, it clears fire breaks faster than teams of firefighters could. When speed saves lives, this kind of rugged engineering becomes a hero. Then there's the issue of waste. Mountains of used tires, collecting dust, breeding mosquitoes. But what if they weren't waste at all? In many parts of the world, old tires are being transformed into retaining walls, erosion barriers, and even roads. They're durable, shock absorbing, and they're already here. It's not recycling, it's rethinking. Now here's something unexpected. Concrete as art. When poured into intricate molds, it becomes a sculpture. Curved ceilings, patterned walls, spaces that breathe and twist with light. It's the same material used in sidewalks and parking garages, yet in the right hands, it transforms into something poetic. In luxury homes and public spaces, this functional material becomes emotional, evoking calm, awe, even inspiration. Light dances across its surface, tracing every contour like brushstrokes. It's durable, but it doesn't feel cold. We forget that beauty and strength can share the same form. And this blend of purpose and creativity is what ties everything together. These aren't just clever hacks. They're a different way of thinking, a rejection of that's how it's always been done. A reminder that smart design doesn't always mean more tech. It can mean fewer steps, fewer materials, less waste. It's where engineering meets artistry, and the result is not just efficient, but deeply human. So next time you sit in traffic near a construction site or watch a concrete mixer roll by or even wonder what happens to your old tires, remember what you've seen here. Somewhere, someone's solving that problem with a fresh idea, maybe even a simple one. An idea born not in a corporate boardroom, but in a garage, on a work site, or during a conversation over coffee. It might come from a seasoned engineer or someone with no formal training at all, just a sharp mind and a better question. Because innovation doesn't always wear a lab coat. Sometimes it wears work boots, thinks with calloused hands, and sees possibility where others see inconvenience. Innovation isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it walks on its legs. Sometimes it floats on water. It can be dusty, rough-edged, even a little strange at first. But then you see it work, and suddenly it makes perfect sense. The best ideas often start where frustration meets curiosity. And when they do, they don't just solve problems. They reimagine what's possible, open new doors, and shift the way we see the world around us. They challenge habits and remind us that better is always within reach. They challenge what we thought we knew. They take something ordinary and twist it just slightly until it becomes extraordinary. They're the inventions you wish you'd thought of first. They whisper, "There's another way," even when the world says there isn't. They live in the margins, in garages, job sites, and sketchbooks, waiting for someone to notice. And when they finally step into the spotlight, they don't just impress us, they change us. Because the most powerful innovations don't just build better things, they build better futures. If this video gave you a new perspective on construction or just made you think differently about how we shape our world, tap that like button. And if you want more stories like this, real creativity, real solutions, subscribe and join us. Because the future isn't waiting. It's already under construction. In fields, on rooftops, across rivers and deserts, one clever idea at a time, and maybe the next one is already in your hands. Sketched on a napkin, built in your garage, or sparked by something you saw right here today.